So this is a perfect setting for this little anecdote. There's a Zen master and a Zen student, and the Zen master says to the Zen student says to the Zen master, "Master, please tell me, how does the earth stay up? What holds the earth up in the heavens?" And the Zen master says, "Well, the earth rides on the back of a giant turtle." And then the student says, "Well, I got you here. I think I've trapped you. What holds the turtle up?" And the Zen master chuckles and says, "I'm sorry, my student, it's turtles all the way down." What does that mean? And what does that have to do with markup? Here's what it has to do with markup. Markup languages are, at some point, closed communities. And as long as you stay inside that community, as long as you stay on the earth, it's okay to see that turtle one turtle down, but when you ride on the turtle, now you have to see what's holding up the turtle. Same thing with markup languages. When you're inside the markup language, everything is fine and all you see is the markup language. But as soon as you turn towards looking at the markup language, trying to represent the markup language itself, you start to run into problems. And here's how it works. So we have a bold tag, right? We want to make something bold. But what if I'm teaching you, and I run into this problem all the time, I'm teaching you about the bold tag. So I don't want the thing to be bold. I want to show you the bold tag. I can't type in a bold tag because that will make the thing bold. And what I want to show you is the tag. And so we have to invent a sort of trick in order to represent the angle brackets of the bold tag. And so we create special characters that are there specifically to represent that representation. So now we have the characters that we use to represent the bold tag so that you can see the bold tag and it doesn't just become a bold tag. But then the question is, how do I represent that representation? And especially in a class like this, I'd like to teach you how to do that. And so I'm going to have to use the markup language. In this case, let's say it's HTML. I'm going to have to use HTML not only to represent the bold tag, but to represent the representation of the bold tag. And I might even need to represent the representation of the bold tag. It's turtles all the way down. You continue going outward, and there's no finality to it. There's no closure. You can't represent everything possible inside the markup language because there's always the next level of representation of representation. Now in practice this isn't a huge issue, but it is an interesting philosophical point to ponder, that markup languages, like any other formalization, and I reference Gödel's theorem also in this topic, that's another idea about how formalisms, like algebraic formalisms, are inherently open. They can't represent propositions about themselves. They're not inclusive of everything. There's a limit to what they can represent. And that limit comes up exactly the same way as it comes up for us in markup languages, and that's when you start talking about yourself. And when you start talking about yourself, making references to yourself, you can see that spiral where you can make references about references about references about references about references. And that's where any closed formal system like a markup language begins to fail. But as I say, in general, it's not going to be an issue. If you ever want to say how a bold tag looks, you'll learn the little characters that you use in order to show it as a tag rather than make it be the tag and do its function.